What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to Project Orion, where this week we discuss HCS Atlanta, where I streamed all 3 days of it, by the way. Literally all 3 fucking days of it. And, yeah. It was fantastic. There were some big upsets. Honestly, some quite big upsets. And some teams doing not great. Some teams I have to I'm gonna rant a little about. And just everything in between. Yeah. I didn't see a whole lot of open bracket. Saw a little because of Twitter and the people that I talked to that actually went. And what the fuck is flying around in my room? I just noticed that. What the fuck? Well, whatever. But, yeah. I made my own predictions. I only did about top 12. And there are some teams that I totally forgot about. Like Team Lethal Fox. Like King J and them. Completely forgot about them. Or maybe when I made it, they technically weren't Team Lethal Fox yet. I just kind of forgot that they were a team. Which is my fault, completely. Genuinely, it's my fault. I completely forgot about that they existed. But if you didn't see my video where I did my predictions, I can go through them right now. Completely wrong, except for a few of them. A few of them I kind of got roughly right. At winning the whole event, I had FaZe. Well, spoiler alert, that didn't fucking happen. Not at all. Second, I had FaZe, which is actually correct, which is really correct, by the way. Third, I had SSG, definitely not right. Fourth, I had Shopify. Fifth, I had Quadrant, which, I could talk about them now. They just kind of didn't look great at times. Sometimes they look good. I know SLG said he wasn't feeling good all weekend. But still, they just kind of fell flat in some of the series. Like how, the ITB series, which I can get into in a little bit. But, at 6, I had Sentinels. 7, I had Complexity, which actually what happened, swapped those. Pretty much exact, actually. I pretty much got Sentinels and Complexity right. 8, I had Pure, if Druck played. Druck played, and they played out of their fucking minds. So, I'll talk about Pure in a few. At 9, I had C9. They're just kind of mid. Not gonna lie. I like Tusk as a player. They haven't been able to just make it, which is weird because they could be the team that be like upset city, like could really do something. But they just at 10, I had Incognito / Bittersweet, Descendants team, with Collect. 11, I had Native, and at 12, I had ITB, because for ITB, I didn't know where to place them, because Arlington, they looked great. London, they just looked flat, and were kind of not good, to be honest. And then for this, they were pretty fucking decent, actually. So, completely off. The actual standings went, of course, winning the whole damn thing, Space Station. I can't exactly say much. They played some of the best Halo you could pretty much fucking play all weekend. So, there's not much to say there. Legend might be EU GOAT. And the rest of that roster, Eco and Stellar, are starting to cement themselves as some of, if not the best Halo players to ever touch a fucking controller. If they just continue to keep winning, and Bound has already gotten his second land win next to Legend this year alone. So, he's already becoming fucking ridiculous. And he's also a really nice guy. Third was Shopify. I'm gonna talk about them. I'll just talk about them now. as you can tell, solo in it this week. Everyone was kind of busy. They got back from Atlanta and they just kind of want to chill, which I get. I'm fine with it. I was like, I'm fine with solo weaving this for this week, but Shopify just can't win on Sundays. It also doesn't help Lucid probably hitting the greatest, having the greatest play in Infinite's history, outside of maybe Bounds Overkill as well. So, it's also the loudest I've ever seen Lucid in a series. Like, for the last 3... Actually, since I have watched Lucid play Halo on tier 1 Halo since, 2017? Or so? When he got to MV? Like, this is probably the loudest Lucid's ever been. And I understand why. And... go back to that series. Formal was on a fucking tear this weekend. Optic just, I don't know, they got some second place curse. But Shopify, they just can't fucking do it when it comes to Sundays. This is 2 events in a row. They make it to... Actually, this is literally 3 events in a row. They make it to Champ Sundays. And they just can't get over the hump to get to that top 2. Which... 3rd place it's not like it's a fucking small feat. But they just can't win games on Sunday. It's like it's their kryptonite. Sunday is their kryptonite. So, I don't know. First 2 days, they're always really good. And then Sunday, like I said, they just kind of fumble it. They just, at times, didn't look good. Like I said, it didn't help that formal. Lucid literally pretty much owns that night. He hit a fucking... like I said, it might be play of Infinite. It's play of the year, definitely. But at 4th place, Pure. The only thing I can say is they are absolutely scary. I had them low originally because I was just thinking, hey, Druck on land, we haven't seen it a lot this year. Maybe that they're going to have just a little gel issues. Like they're going to have to try to have some team chemistry when it comes to playing. At least on land, because this roster with Cherished was completely new after London. I wasn't expecting them to just absolutely knock down FaZe into losers and then just Optic finishing up. Like, that was not expected. I was not expecting Pure to just 3-0 the reigning London champs and reigning world champions. Like, the London champs and just fucking reigning world champions. Was not on my list of, it was, like, not on the bingo card for that. And I wasn't expecting Frosty to not play great. Like, having a game where, for most of it, had 0 kills. Very unfrosty. Renegade, though, all weekend was great. Was probably about the only one that was consistent. Snakebite, Royal 2, Frosty, very inconsistent. And it showed. And Renegade was, at times, willing that team. And I definitely know when coming into Salt Lake City, FaZe is definitely, you would assume, play better. It's just, I don't know, this FaZe roster, it is like, they just look off, or they look like the best team. Like, there is no in between. There's not like a consistent, hey, we're this. It's, they look flat, or they look like the best team in the planet. I don't know what is up with it. It's just weird. And like I said, who knows? Maybe when it comes to SLC, they just come out and they just fucking smack everyone out of the way and they get another fucking win. Maybe they do. maybe Optic figures out their woes to only get to second, and then they just fall flat when it comes to grand finals. It's happened 3 times this year, where they just get to grand finals, and they kind of just at times lay eggs. They don't do well. They just kind of get outplayed when it comes to the grand finals. I don't know if it's by the time they hit grand finals, they're just gassed. But it's like outside of, what was it, game 1? SSG just absolutely fucking had it. Like, there was almost no way that, like, SSG wasn't going to win it. But at 6, shocker to me, into the breach. So, shout out Jimbo. Because that series against Quadrant, that game 5, they just clicked. And they finally were able to show that on LAN, we can beat the big dogs of Europe. We can beat Quadrant, the team that has taken players from us, like Snipe Drone, like Glory. We can take players from them and absolutely win. And like I said, shout out Jimbo. He played great. The numbers might not always show it. He played fantastic. All of Into the Breach this past weekend, played great. And getting 6th place, basically being at where they were at Arlington when they got 5th. And yes, a lot of people were saying that 5th place at Arlington when they were foe was a little fluke. Was kind of they had an easy bracket, but I think they played really good at Arlington. Like I said earlier, London, they didn't look great. I don't know what it was. Maybe they just I don't know exactly what it was, but something wasn't clicking when it came to them at London. But I could kind of tell from the jump at Atlanta, they looked a lot different. Like, they looked hungry. Like, they wanted to prove something this event. And beating Quadrant, especially in a game 5, clutching up and winning that, showed it to me and proved it that they can, when it comes down to it, compete with the best in Europe. And yeah, they are some of the best in Europe. But saying that they can finally take them down when it comes to LAN and everything, it shows it to me. And at, 7, Sentinels. Honestly, I don't have much to say about Sentinels. They're just kind of alright. Like I said, I like everyone on this team. I like everyone when it comes to Sentinels, and they just are. They're good. I don't know. They just seem off. Like London, they get reverse swept by SSG. This event, they just kind of looked about the same. They looked meh. Like something just seems off about Sentinels. I don't know exactly what it is. I don't know if it was they just didn't get enough practice, or they still don't have the full team chemistry when it comes to them playing with precision. I don't know exactly what it is. But they just seem kind of meh, honestly. I almost kind of want to gloss over Complexity because they just, to be honest, them getting 8 is like almost them being lucky. They don't look good. They just don't look great. Like, I know this is Reigns' first big major back competing. But it's just like, to a point though, they just don't look great. I don't know what it is. I have noticed this when it comes to since last year and kind of this year when it comes to a Ryan Noob team. They just look meh, honestly. And I won't go into the stuff that I have heard personally when it comes to people that have played with Ryan Noob. I won't go into that. It's been well documented by other people. I'm going to let that go. But I just think this last 2 years when it comes to Ryan Noob, just his teams haven't got wig. We played for Shopify last year. They looked meh most of the year. This year, when it comes to complexity, they just look meh. Like, they just don't look amazing. It doesn't matter what iteration this team is. And yeah, London was London. It was whatever. Everyone knows. But when they're able to play on LAN, they just... It doesn't matter who's on the roster. They just look kind of eh. They're not bad. They're not anything great. Like, they went 3-2 with ascending baseline. It's ascending baseline. You should... No offense to anyone on that team that I think was Boatin before. Or Boatin before. No hate towards them, but complexity should have 3-0'd them. Or at least it should have been 3-1. No way it should have gone to a game 5. They just are great. Okay, I just had to make sure. I was like, it wasn't quadrant. Quadrant was 9. They looked flat a lot of the time. They're like I said earlier, SLG said that he was not feeling good all weekend. And yeah, that can take effect to it, but also you can't use that as a full excuse. Team just didn't clutch up when they had to. And losing to ITB in the fashion that they did, ITB played better. They reached Game 5. They pushed it to Game 5, and ITB just got the better of you that weekend. It happens. I do expect Quadrant to have a bounce back when it comes to SLC. I do expect SLG to play better. I do expect the whole Quadrant roster in general to play better when going into the next major. And at 10, well, Cloud9, I pretty much got that on the dot, though. I put them at 9, they got 10. It is kind of what it is. They're some maps they look great, some maps they don't. They're kind of in that level when it comes to like complexity and teams like that where they're just kind of meh. They just don't look amazing at times. Like I said, I like this Cloud9 roster. I really do. And this is like, they've stuck together for a little bit now. And I don't know. I would like to see them have some sort of bigger success at SLC. I'd like it. I would be happy if this Cloud9 roster got, even if they got 8, that would be somewhat of an improvement than 10. Getting 2 spots higher would be a fucking drastic improvement. But we'll have to find out. This next one I might rant a little. 11, we have Native Gaming. I don't know where to start with this one. I like all the players on this team. Like I said, APG is a legend. Barcode, he's great. Gilkey, it's Gilkey. He's fantastic. He's always been. And tapping buttons is good. But it's just something about the roster. Something doesn't click. Like, they went to a Game 5 against Mind Freak. No offense to Mind Freak. No offense to Scoob and Rice and any of them. No offense. Going to Game 5 against them is kind of crazy. When you're a team that shouldn't be competing in open bracket. The talent on that roster on paper shouldn't be an open bracket team. And I don't know what it is. And I'm kind of tired as well. Like I said, I listen to HCS Pro Talk as well. And they kind of talked about this too, that they just recycle the same players. And it's not wrong. Like, you dropped Mickwin. You picked up Tapping Buttons. Tapping Buttons is already played there. It's what's it does irk me a little that a lot of teams do rotate the same players. Grab someone new. As not great as Complexity looked, picking up Breaking Shot was kind of cool. It was especially a big thing when it came to the AM scene. Like, seeing someone that's been in the AM scene for a while and finally getting its chance with a legit roster and a legit org like that, like Complexity, was really fucking cool. It would be kind of cool to see Native do something like that. I don't think they're going to make a team move, though, because this would be like the 800th fucking roster move that they have done this year, and they won't do another one because I don't think they want to. I just don't think they also can't afford to do another roster move when it comes to points wise, because I know APG said he does want to play through open bracket again, but when they do go through open bracket, they look a lot better. And it was also cool seeing APG kind of talk shit in open bracket. But the team doesn't look good. That's all I'm just gonna leave it at. The team doesn't look good at all. The team just looks, frankly, shit at times. And I don't exactly know what they have to do. I don't know if it's they don't play at similar speeds or they just don't have team chemistry down. I don't know what it is, but they don't look good at all. They just really don't look good. Just gonna leave it at that. But glad to see this team make pool play. Get out of open bracket. Team Lethal Fox with Haynes, King J, shout out King J, homie, Piggy, and Rami. They got out of open bracket. Of course, I gotta say, it's great seeing King J back. Him taking that break and everything. Seeing ain't the same. Because King J, when it comes to especially Twitter as well, he is something else. And seeing this team actually do a lot, get out of open bracket, especially their first land together. And I don't think anyone would have been mad either if they didn't make pool play. I don't think anyone would have been exactly upset either. But yeah, I just don't think that anyone would have been upset. It's their first major together as a roster. And yeah, I just don't think that would have been, people would have been like, oh fuck, Team Lethal Fox to make, like, yeah, they would have been bummed, but they also probably could have gone into it and been like, hey, it's our first land together as a roster. We showed that we can compete with some of the top open bracket teams. And some, especially when it comes to scrims, the top 8 teams and everything, like, we can be in that range. So, honestly, I got really nothing to say about Team Lethal Fox. They got put in the pool and they lost. But they made it an open bracket, which was impressive for a team that was just put together relatively not too long ago. Which then brings us to bittersweet. Who didn't. No offense, Descendant. You definitely told me that your team didn't play great. Yeah, Atlanta was rough. It wasn't anything amazing for you guys. But, like I did say, so Descendant, if you do watch this, I will say again, it was your first major together as a team. Shit happens. You guys are better than you placed, but not everyone. Note, my headphones just turned off. My headphones just turned off. They're back on. But yeah, King Nick has proven he can be on a top 4 team. To be fair, that was also in year 1 with United, with a team of course, Ryan, Sparty, King Nick, and Rain. 2/4 of complexity. But that was also years ago now. But King Nick has had a great career, can prove that he can win. Collect, when he is on, like when Collect is absolutely locked the fuck in, and he's hit, like he is completely fucking locking on to heads, he looks almost unstoppable. And Manny is Manny. He's been good for a while. You can't. This team just needs more time. Bittersweet just needs more time to gel. I'm not exactly worried about them going into SLC at all. I'm really not. From like most of these teams, depending on the one, like especially the ones that just made moves relatively not too long ago, outside of Pure, they could be upset city. Like, I genuinely wouldn't be surprised if I saw people saying my dark horse to win SLC was Pure. I wouldn't be fucking surprised. I wouldn't even be mad. Druk is the X factor for that team. It's the last shot is unfucking believable. And of course, Talik is, well, Talik. He's pretty much been good since he's, like, touched a fucking controller. So it's kind of hard to just be like, well, they can't. No, they could. And I do think Shopify could also be there, but I digress. Alpha Esports, they make the same roster move every fucking time. They change players out. They're always the same players. But dealt a bad hand. They're not bad players. They just kind of didn't do good. But Ascending Baseline EU, a.k.a., if I'm correct, this was Botan originally, before they got picked up by one of the 500 teams that go by Ascending Baseline every fucking event. And none of them ever make fucking pool play. None of them ever really make pool play. Or get anywhere in open bracket. Or if they do make, or if one of them makes pool play, they don't look great. No offense to any of them. No offense to nobody that plays for Ascending Baseline, works for Ascending Baseline, none of that. They all just don't do great. Like I said, it is no hate towards any person that plays for them, supports the orgs, or supports Ascending Baseline, or anything as a whole. They just don't do great. And then Carolina Gaming, of course, have come on board. Mortally Jackson, all great players. I think that is a relatively put-together roster. Like, recently, if I'm correct. Or at least picking up the Carolina Gaming tag. Because wasn't Carolina Gaming... Was that Reversal Perfy? Let me know in the comment section if I'm being stupid. Wasn't Carolina Gaming Reversal Perfy? They always, every time they get dropped from an org, they go back to Reversal Perfy. Make sure I'm not stupid in the comment section. But that is the, of course, what is that, top 16? Yes. But yeah. I am going to give, I know I said it, I might have spoiled it. I'm going to give my dark horse for the next major now. So I'm going to lock it in. I'm going to lock it in now. So if it turns out that I am completely fucking wrong, but if Druck is able to play at the next major, Pure is my dark horse to win the whole fucking thing. They looked fan-fucking-tastic. It's just, on Sunday, they ran into an incredibly hot optic. They ran into a formal that we haven't heard in a minute. I don't know how many times formal dropped the F-bomb when they did one of the listenings. I think it was against Shopify or was it against Pure? It was one of them. He was like, fucking good shit. You're at, like, it sounded like COD formal. Like, old school COD formal. And if Optic is getting that, they could win SLC. To be fair, FaZe could, like I said, bounce back and just fucking spoil everything, and Optic somehow gets another second place, and SSG just does kind of what they did at London. But it's kind of hard to predict anything now. I was going to say this weekend. There are no opens this weekend. It is next weekend? Not this weekend, but next weekend? So yeah. And if, I'll pretty much be closing out the episode in a few. But, like I said, I'll list my Discord, down below in the description. I would do my Twitter /X, but, I don't know. Every time I fucking do the link for it, it doesn't work. So, just go on Twitter and type in codebar55. I should pop up. My profile picture is the man, the myth, the legend, formal. So, if you find that, follow me there. Of course, like and subscribe for more. And I should have a guest next week. Keyword is should. If that changes, I'll probably let you guys know. But, yeah. And, of course, let me know your opinions about Atlanta in the comment section below. God, I'm making this sound like an old school fucking YouTube video. Yeah, but let me know your opinions in the comment section below about it. And, yeah. Also, you could list in the comment section below, or like how I listed my Twitter before, DM me, and I can see who I can try to get on the pod. It's been a little difficult since I'm not too far into it, but hey, it's worth a shot. But yeah, like I said, like and subscribe for more. Let me know in the comment section below. And, yeah, I will see you guys in the next episode. Peace.